This is just a quick message from Jess, just saying, my husband and I are both teachers and we listen to Tofop on the way home from work most days. In episode 400, Will said something really nice and kind about teachers, which came to me at the end of a really tough day. It meant a lot. I just wanted to say thank you. Yeah, man, teachers are the best. I got 2 siblings who are teachers. It's a fucking tough job, man. Like, especially in the last 3 years, what teachers have been expected to do. Like, talking to my brother about, like, trying to change the curriculum to be online. And then when they started getting students back, having to have every single contingency plan in place for like a sudden kind of outbreak of COVID or whatever, while also still like, you know, trying to educate kids and develop them as young humans.
They do the toughest job going around already. Then it was made even tougher by the circumstances of having to completely pivot to be able to educate people from home. And most parents, if you listen to them talk about what it was like for them to be in charge of their kids' education, suddenly, you know, it was like, well, I can't do this. This is ridiculous. This is ruining my life. Didn't really translate into appreciating teachers more, which I think was a weird, you know, gap in people's expectations there. And then teachers had to do half and half a lot of the time. You know, there were some kids at school and then there were some still at home having to learn in that environment. And then, now to be back trying to deal with kids who've gone through this period of time and are readjusting to like all those socialization things, educational things, like, and the fact that in Australia, the other thing is that the discrepancy between the public system and the private system is so outrageous, one of the worst in the world. You talked before about the Finnish prime minister being, down in this part of the world recently. And I was reading a lot about, because their education system is like admired as being one of the best in the world. And it's because there is barely any discrepancy between the levels of education that people get, you know, there. Like, you know, there isn't that. So like in Australia, there was just this massive gap between the entrenched privilege of private education versus like the public education system. And in the area that, you know, that I have been living in Sydney, like you just drive past these schools that basically like,
beautiful.
Yeah, like the kids who go to these schools would look at Hogwarts and go, that is a shithole. I would never go to that shithole Hogwarts, because
Hogwarts does not have like 180-degree views of
Sydney Harbour and the Opera House, you know, like doesn't have an Olympic-sized swimming pool and like, you know,
diving tower,
football, you know, like football oval with like, you know, stands that are bigger than ones that most professional teams play at. Like it's ridiculous, the discrepancy like between the school systems here in Australia as well. So I have nothing but admiration for teachers. And it's also one of those jobs that, you know, when the pandemic was on and I was thinking about what I could do with my like life, one of the only things that I think I have the skill set to do is be a teacher, but I just wouldn't have the actual practical skill set of being able to do it. I just don't think I could just handle it. It's just too hard a job.
To see the full video, join our Patreon.
Patreon.com/Tofop.